Hi everyone, my name is David Enilolobo. I'm the head of Group ALM, Access Bank PLC. And I'm here to talk to you about how to grow your money and secure your future. I'll be talking to you about, telling you about what money is. I'll talk to you about how to earn money, how do you save, how do you spend, how do you invest your money, how do you protect your money, and I'll take questions at the end of the presentation. So let's start with what is money. So money is a helpful tool that helps you, that makes it easier to earn, save, invest, and even share with others. You use it to exchange for goods, services without having to trade items directly like we used to do in those days, where if you needed one item, you have to exchange with another item. So with money, you can earn, you can save, you can invest, you can spend, and you also have to protect your money. How do you earn money? In growing up, you ask yourself, how do I earn money? I'm not an adult, I'm not working, but how do I earn money? For people at your stage, I think you can earn money by doing things that the adults want. For example, house chores, washing cars, clothes, carpets, baking, designing, painting, barbing, sewing, doing sales. This is how you can earn money, and this is how you can get money as a kid. Earning money at an early age can foster responsibility, work ethics, and a better understanding of how finances works. Children and youth can earn by engaging in all the items that I listed earlier. So how do you save? Saving is setting money aside or keeping money for future use, and you can save money for short-term, long-term, depending on the purpose for saving your money. And like I mentioned earlier, saving is not to spend, but to also invest. So you need to keep at the back of your mind that I'm also saving to invest. So how do you save? You can save by opening children's savings account. And in Access Bank, we have a fantastic product called Early Savers Account, where you can open an account in your own name, of course, run by your parent, any one of your parents. And this account offers you fantastic interest rates that gives a good value on your money. You can also do what we call peer-to-peer contribution, where you and your friends have an agreement to come together and save money, maybe weekly, daily, or monthly contribution. And every month or every time you guys come together, somebody takes the money and people take turn after turn to take the money. Then we talk about piggy bank as well. Piggy bank is what everybody knows. You could even make your own piggy bank at home. You could use a cardboard, you could use wood or mortar to make your own piggy bank. And when you make your piggy bank, you can keep it in your wardrobe. And every time your uncle, anyone gives you money, you could just go there and keep your money in the piggy bank. With these three ways, you can save money and in preparation to invest your money. So how do you spend? I think this is an area that we need to be careful as kids, because I remember I was asking my child and I asked her, I said, oh, why do you save money? And the next question she told me was, so that I can spend. So I think everybody has that mindset that, okay, when I save money, is to spend. But, well, you can spend, but you also need to be careful how you spend, because growing up now, a lot of us, we have our parents providing our needs, giving us what we need. So we might not really need to spend our money. But when you need to spend your money, of course, you need to save. But in spending, you don't need to overspend or make impulsive decision with money. Making an impulsive decision with money is, I'm going on the road and I see this beautiful jeans or this beautiful t-shirt. I've not planned for it. I'm like, okay, I like this shirt and let me just buy it. Very impulsive decision. No, you can't do that with your money. You need to plan and spend accordingly. You have to stay disciplined. And I think it's also important to identify the difference between needs and wants. A lot of people spend money on what they want, not what they need. So what is the difference between needs and wants? Needs are necessities that you must have. That is things that you require to function or to survive. Example, food, water, clothing, shelter. These are needs that you need to function. When we talk about wants are desires, right? But they're not important. They're not necessary to survive. You could actually do away with those things. So to save money, you need to spend wisely, and you need to spend money on the things you need, not what you want, because your wants are, you cannot actually meet all your wants. It's not possible. No one has ever been able to meet all that they want to, or spend as on what they want, right? You can only meet your basic necessities. And another way of spending wisely is by budgeting. And I talked about that earlier. You don't spend based on impulse. You budget to spend. However, when we talk about needs and wants of an individual, it can differ. One person's want may be another person's need, depending on the circumstances that you find yourself. And a person's need today can turn to be a want tomorrow. So we just need to mind this area. So how do we spend wisely? I was talking about spending wisely. How do you spend wisely? If you need to buy something, and for example, you need to buy a phone, why do you need to buy a 1 million naira phone? What happens to a 450,000, a 300,000, a 250,000 naira phone? You can't say because I want to impress my friend, then you go blasting all your money on things that you don't really need. Then what of buying little things? For example, instead of buying, I want to buy data, instead of buying 200 gig, what can I buy 20 gig and manage how I consume data? What of, instead of buying food in school, why can't I take food from home and be careful what I eat so that I don't need to spend my money on snacks that I don't really need? What of, you can also check books, read books from library instead of buying them. After all, after using them, for people that do not have younger ones, once you buy those books, they are not useful to you anymore. Then when you're at home, another way of saving money for your parents is turning off the lights, ACs and fans when not in use. Like I mentioned earlier, you have to only spend on necessities, and those are things that you need, not things that you want. So we go to the next point, which is how do you invest? What is investing? Investing means letting your money work, letting your money grow and compound over time. And for me, I think the most important reason why we need to save is to invest. And when you invest, you are sure that the principal is protected. And if you need to spend at all, you are spending from your interest. You've bought the hen that is now laying the eggs. So you're not eating the hen, you are eating the eggs, right? So before you invest, you need to find out what you want to invest in. And you must speak to an adult that understands investing and investment, that can guide you on the kind of things you can invest in. And where do you invest? You can invest in shares, bonds, investment accounts, businesses. Who says you can't invest in businesses? You can also invest in businesses, doing a joint venture with your friends. You can also invest in gold, although you need to speak to an adult on this. You can also invest in land and properties. Who says you can't invest in land and properties? If you save your money and you have a substantial amount, you can speak to an adult. They can even help you to add to what you have, even if it's not enough, right? I imagine my kid wants to buy land and he's raised, maybe the land is 1 million and he's raised 500,000. I'll be so impressed that he's done so well. And of course, adults will be willing to help you add money to it to make your investment. But like I said, we need to be mindful that the purpose of saving is not to spend. Yes, we can spend, but it should be to save, because it should be to invest, right? Because if you don't have enough money that you've gathered together over the period, then how do you gather principal to invest your money and grow your money? So let's talk about protection of money, because in the world that we are now, one of the things that is very prevalent is fraudulent activities, people stealing other people's money. So how do you ensure that this money that you have saved, somebody does not come to steal this money? So you have to be smart and you have to be careful. There are several online frauds, scams, online shopping scam, phishing, money mauling, data privacy risk, such as identity theft. So you have to be careful and make sure that when you save your money is safe. You save it in a place that is protected from all of these things. So how do you make sure that you reduce fraud risk? You have to keep your personal information safe. Do not share your BVN and ATM PIN with anyone. Keep it and make sure that they are not numbers, they are not your date of birth, they are not numbers that anybody can easily decode. Let it be numbers that you alone know and you have access to. Then you have to be suspicious of cold callers. Anyone calling you and saying they are from a bank, asking you for that your account has expired, something's wrong with your account, and you need to give them your details to activate it. You need to be very careful of such calls. You need to patronize only safe online platforms. When you're online, you need to be careful of where you go to and what you do there. Don't put your money into a venture that you do not understand. Don't give your money to someone that comes to you and say, oh, I need money, help me. And you say, oh, I have money in the piggy bank. And the person promises you that he will give you the next day. You might not get that money back. You have to be careful. You have to be smart. So you need to talk to an adult and be sure that if you need to lend at all, you are lending to somebody that has the capacity to pay you back so that you don't get heartbroken. Also, you have to keep your money in regulated financial institutions. I mean, when I say regulated, institutions that are regulated by Central Bank of Nigeria. When you want to open a bank account, those are places that you need to keep your money so you're sure that your money is safe and secure. Central Bank of Nigeria, Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC), Pension Commission (PENCOM), National Insurance Commission of Nigeria (NICOM), Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation (NDIC). So any institution that is regulated by these regulatory authorities, you are sure that if you save your money with them, your money is safe. I think this is where we stop for today, and I hope you've enjoyed the presentation, and thank you for listening. And I take questions. I've seen a couple of questions, so let's just take. So I think the number one question that I can see here is, how do I decide how much to spend and how much to save? So this is where budgeting comes in, right? You need to do your budgeting. You need to plan. I'm saving to what purpose? Am I saving to buy something, or I'm saving to invest, right? So this decision on how much to spend or how much to save will be determined during the budgeting process. When you sit down to say, okay, I need to save. So in your budgeting process, you ask yourself, how much do I need to save? How long do I need to save for? How do I get this money to save? Then you can determine how much you need to spend or how much you need to save. Then the next question is, how can I know the difference between needs and wants? And I think during the presentation, we've actually answered that, right? Needs are necessity, things that you need to survive. Food, water, clothing. You need those ones to survive. Wants are desires. What are the best way to save money for the future? The best way to save money for the future is by investing, right? When you save money to a certain amount, ask an adult, ask a financial consultant or a financial expert on shares that you can buy, on investment that you can make, commercial papers, treasury bills, bonds. When you save to a certain amount, you can invest in those instruments, and those instruments help you to compound your money. They are better than keeping your money in the piggy bank in your wardrobe, because those ones don't give you any return. But if you save to an amount, you put in a bank, fixed deposit, you earn something. So each time you sleep and you wake up, your money has increased, your money has grown. But if you put them in a piggy bank, you sleep, wake up, it remains the same. So that's how you can save and also grow your money. Now, there are things we strictly should never borrow money for. Yes, of course, even as an adult. And it's very good if you get to know these things as kids, because it helps to shape on your financial discipline as you grow, because you don't borrow for everything. You don't borrow money to eat. You don't borrow money to consume. Because if you borrow money to eat, how do you pay back? You only borrow money to invest, because you know that if I invest, the principal is safe, I can return your money back to you and also make something. You can borrow money to do business. Whenever I borrow money to consume, if you need to consume and you don't have money, it's better to ask and let somebody give you than to borrow and it becomes a burden on you because tomorrow you have to pay back. And when you can't pay back, it becomes a big problem. So when you need to consume or when you need to eat and you don't have money, it's better to ask rather than say, I want to borrow. Then the next question is, can I save the small 2,000 naira that my uncle gave me during summer break? How can I pay it into my account? Yes, you can. During summer break or Christmas time, our big uncles come around, big aunties come around, and when they're going, they give you all those flashy notes, new notes that you keep. So those new notes you can give to your parents and ask them to take it and let them do the transfer to your account. So they don't even need to go to the bank. So just tell them, mommy, take this 5,000, we'll do a transfer. But you have to be smart, make sure mommy don't transfer. And tell her to show you the debit alert to be sure that the money has gone into your account. The other question I have is, how long can I keep my money for in the account? Does it expire? No, if you keep your money in the bank, for example, it doesn't expire. You can keep your money in the savings account. You just ask an adult to keep watching those funds for you. And if you don't fix deposit when it matures, the adult gets an alert that the money has matured, then you roll over. If you buy bonds, you get coupon. Those are interests that come to your account. And those interests, you can also invest in interest. So when the interest comes to your account, you reinvest them to make sure that you have more money at the time you need it. All right, thank you for listening. This is where we end our presentation for today. For your questions and observations, kindly drop them at the comment section and we'll get back to you with our response. Thank you once again for listening.